Good evening, everybody. It's time for the Cutting Edge Building Tips webinar again. We've got 500K Sharron Sharif with us tonight, and we're going to start out with just a few announcements, and then, well, actually, we don't have that many announcements this week, but we'll give you the ones that we've got, and then we'll just jump right into the meat of the call. Next week for the webinar is another legend joins Xango. Industry icon Dan Kennison will be speaking, and look for some more information on that in your emails. Also, I guess, well, there will be a lot more announcements next week. We have some new site features and stuff coming online, but we'll get into that next week. Also, we've started a series of webinars just for training, for new users, and then also for folks that have been on the site for a while, just to keep up to date with the latest. And those happen on Tuesday nights. And let me just show you where you can go to check the schedule for the webinars and to sign up for these things. If you're at the Life as It Could Be homepage, there's this free live webinars box, and just click on this to view the schedule. And then you can see, the call tonight with Sharron, Dan Kennison, and then the How to Use Life as It Could Be webinars are the new ones. And then you can go down here to register for these. But we recommend that everybody that's a new user join us for, it just takes 15 minutes for the new user training. Then we do 15 minutes of advanced training immediately following. And it's probably good if everybody that's actively using the site to do that every couple months to keep up on all the new features. And then it's followed by Q&A. So we just started that this week. So with that, David, are you online with us?
I'm with you. You betcha, Mike.
All right. Well, turning it over to you and Sharron.
Okay, fantastic. Well, hey, everybody. It's really nice to have so many of you on the call tonight, and especially to say hi to our incredible guest tonight, 500K Sharron Sharif. There's only 14 500Ks in the company. I shouldn't say 14. That's actually quite a few for that huge and prestigious a position. It shows how well Xango's doing, and so we're pretty proud of that. But Sharron's certainly one of them, and she's she lives in Las Vegas, very legendary icon in the industry for many, many years in network marketing. She's come into Xango, fairly close to the start. She's one of the 3 biggest checks in Xango. What I like about Sharron, she's one of those role models for distributors. She just never ceases to go for it. She just keeps it going. She doesn't seem to have ups and downs. When I talk to Sharron, she doesn't voice complaints or problems or anything like that. It's always a real positive, upbeat phone call. It's really nice, and she always has a ready smile. But the thing I appreciate is just the way she goes for it. And great lady, good friend, and by the way, before we get started, just to let you all know, this is my birthday webinar. Today's my birthday, and people were asking me all day how old I was, and I'm in my 60s, but biological age really doesn't matter. It's how you feel. And I got thinking about it, and I feel like I thought, exactly how old do I feel? And I decided I felt 34 years and 7 months old. And so in 5 months, we're going to celebrate my 35th birthday. So anyway, with that, Sharron, you with us? Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hey, I am with you. I want to say hi to everybody, and thank you for having me on the call, and thank you for all the nice things you say. And it's not hard to be upbeat with you because you're always upbeat. I always love talking to you because I hear you laughing every time we have a conversation. So it's awesome. It's awesome, Dave, to get to know you so well after all these years and have your friendship. I just love it.
It's been great. You bet you. Well, let's get going. By the way, Susie won't be participating in this. She skipped her. She took a little trip, and she missed her 365 for a couple of days, and so she's feeling a little bit under the weather, and so she's not going to join us on this. But so it'll be me and you, Sharron. All right. And the first thing I want to ask, we can do this. We can do this. All right.
We can.
The first thing I want to ask is a rather simple question that probably requires a little bit more detailed of an answer, but I think people really would like to hear this. What's kind kind of a normal day of sponsoring for you. You just have, I just said that you just always go for it. You just keep going and going and going, and even after all these years, you're still going and going and going, just like myself. And kind of give us a typical sponsoring day for you, if you wouldn't mind, from the time you kind of get to the phones to close things down. What's kind of a typical day for you?
Well, a typical day in sponsoring, of course, when I get up in the morning, my first thing I do is I answer my texts and my emails, and I make any calls that I wanted to make to some people that I'm working with, being downline or brand new distributors. So I kind of get that done in the first couple hours of the day, and then I'm going to do callbacks to people that I have gone out and prospected and got them kind of in the tube where I am working with them to get them into Xango. And sometimes that happens on my first time I meet with them. Actually, probably half the time I close them on the first time, but the other half of the time it could be a process. You know, like Dan Kennison, my very, very good friend and partner, who I work with really close with now. It took me 5 years of dribbling on him to get him to understand what Xango had to offer to him, and that was exciting. And I'll go out and I'll decide, anytime I go out the door, which is, of course, every day, I'm always ready to sponsor somebody, and it's always in my mind about, I'm going to get in front of some people today that I'm going to introduce Xango to. It just is second nature, and that's what needs to happen, Dave, is people need to know that sponsoring is just their second nature. When they go out, they need to be prepared. They need to have, you know, their professional business cards, and they need to have any kind of tool that they want to hand out. And, you know, our system that we do is when we talk to somebody is we may walk up, or Dan and I do a lot of sponsoring together because he's with me for a couple of weeks. So we have a lot of fun, and when we go out to eat or we go out to a car dealership or wherever we go, we'll always talk to every single person who we come within the 3 or 10 foot line, and we might say to that person that, you know, Dan's usual line that we now both use is, "Are you the owner?" So anybody who walks by in a car dealership, any of the salespeople will say, "Are you the owner?" And of course they're not.
I love that. I like that.
And we go into a restaurant and the waiter comes up and we say, "Are you the owner?" You know, and they just love that, because then they start laughing and they go, "Oh, no, not me." And then Dan or I will say to them, "Well, have you ever thought about owning your own business?"
Oh, what a sweet line.
I know, you know, and probably 70% of the people will say to us, "Well, yes, I have. I'd love to own my own restaurant." Or in a beauty salon, "Yes, I have. I'd like to own my own salon." Or, you know, in a car dealership, you know, somebody might say, "Well, yes, I do." And they say, "You know what? With your personality, you know, the usual line, with your personality, you could do great in your own business. You keep your options open if somebody were to give you some information that would allow you to have your own business." And they always say yes. So then we just say, "Well, give me your email. I'm going to send you a video, and it's called The New Frontier." And, you know, the really good thing about this video is when you watch it, they're going to notify me that you watched it. So now they're under the gun, because they know that if they don't watch it, you're going to know, and if they do watch it, they're going to know. So we always tell them, we're going to be notified when you see this New Frontier video, and then I'm going to call you right after, and we're going to ask you how you liked it. And you know what? There's something in there that reminds me of you, actually, and I want you to just watch this. So now they want to watch it because of the curiosity effect of something that's in there that reminds us of them. So then we do that, and then they're going to say, "Okay, can I have your text number, because I want to text you as soon as I send you the video to know that it's in your email." And when we say give the text number, that's their phone number, but it's just a kind of easier way to say, "Give me your phone number," which sometimes they'll hesitate because it's private. But when you say, "Give me your text number," they say, "Okay, here it is." And it was really funny. The other night I was out with my son Mark, and I was doing this to the hostess in the restaurant we went to, and I said, "Okay, give me your text number." And my son Mark goes, "She really means your cell phone number," because he hadn't been around when we did this. And then the girl was like, "Oh," you know, she started to hesitate to give the cell number. So we get the number, and then we text them that we sent them the New Frontier video. And then we call them and we invite them to the Wake Up with Dan, because the New Frontier is so compelling that we'll have developed an interest and we'll say, now, you know what, I know it's something that you got excited watching, but what I'd like you to do now is do one more thing that's going to give you all the information as to whether this is something that you're going to want to do with us. If we want to be partners in helping you develop your business, I'm going to get you on the Wake Up with Dan and Sharron call, because that's going to show you the support that we have every single day that's going to help you leverage your time and get people involved in your business. So we give them the Wake Up with Dan call, and then after they've been on that call, then we just do the three-way, and we do the close. It's just like the same old ABC kind of thing that, Dave, I always talked about, where we attract somebody, then we give them the business tool, or tools in this case, and then we do the close with the call, with the three-way call. So that's really the simple little system that we use, and we go out every day and we just keep asking people, are you the owner? Are you the owner? Are you the owner? Everywhere we go. And there's days that I just decide I'm going out prospecting every week because I'll have a couple extra hours. So I get in the car and, you know, I'll go over to wherever, to the restaurants, or I'll stop at some open houses for real estate agents who are hurting right now, and I'll just give them the opportunity to find Plan B. So I prospect every day, and then I look at my old numbers too. I go a lot in the back of my old index cards or business cards if I want to make some calls. But you know, I make a decision every day of how many people I'm going to talk to that are new every single day. And every single day I make a decision of who I'm going to call, who's in my downline between all of the calls and texts that I get. So it's kind of a day, my kind of normal day.
Sharron, you've just shared with us an unbelievable wealth of knowledge there. I want everybody to do something for me. I want everybody to go into the archives of this call. I want them to listen to everything Sharron just said. I want them to get this out to their downline, have their downline and their, you know, cross lines, up lines, have other people listen to this, because she just gave us some of the most wonderful, unique, and awesome approaches and, you know, ways to say things, and when they get a response, what to do at that point, and then when people do respond, you know, from everything in the text messages, what to do at that point, and then all of a sudden following up with the wake-up call and so forth that we're going to say a little bit more about in just a second. But she just went through an absolute wealth of information. Sharron, I just learned some neat things. I hope I can steal your line from you. What an awesome opening line. Do you mind if I steal that from you?
You can steal anything, because remember, I even get 2% of what you bring into the company.
That's right.
In our 500K bonus.
We'll share that
and
too.
3%. Yep, you can share it. Yeah, the 3%. We share in the 3%. You can steal anything you want. That's what we're here for.
Well, Sharron, my next question was going to be, how do you start a conversation with a stranger? And you already did that. Is there anything you kind of want to add to that as far as starting a conversation with a stranger at all?
Well, the other thing is, like when you're talking to somebody, you always need to listen to what they say, because a lot of times I'll say, have you ever wanted to own your own business? And they'll say yes, and I'll say, well, you know, of course you're going to make a lot more income. What is it that you'd like to achieve from adding some extra income, owning your own business? Because, you know, that's the only way you're going to make really good money. What would you like to do with it? Because I want to hear what it is their dream, and especially if I go into a business. And, you know, Dan and I will walk around and we'll just go get some yogurt, and then we'll walk into all the little businesses that are around there, and we need to be aware that people don't want to hear you say to them, I've got ways for you to make a lot of business, and you don't have to do this, be here in this office all the time. You don't have to stand here as a chiropractor all these days and get tired. You don't have to do this. I want to show you how to switch your income that's going to be much more, because people don't want to hear that. So you need to go in, for example, in a chiropractic office, and you say, you know, what kind of supplements do you use? And they might say, you know, I use these and up here, and they say, and then I'll say, well, I've been in the supplement business for 20 years, and they'll always say, what is it that you market? And I'll tell them, you know, I market a wellness product called Xango.